Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. All Sports WNY. Bob Kaczynski, host of the program. Big announcement for you tonight, sports fans. Let's hear a fanfare. Trumpet, roll of drums. October 3rd, 2013, WBBZ TV will be the exclusive broadcast home of the Buffalo Bills Cleveland Browns game. Thursday night, October 3rd, is the NFL Network broadcast. Once again, for the second consecutive year, WBBZ TV will be your broadcast home for that game. So you can watch all your favorites, possibly E.J. Manuel, starting quarterback. Who knows? Second month of the season, the game will be on right here with a live 2-hour pregame show from our WBBZ studios, just as last year, and live postgame immediately following the NFL Network coverage. Big news, WBBZ TV and the Buffalo Bills back in business October 3rd, right here, exclusively WBBZ TV. So, with that out of the way, very excited about that. Talking about All Sports WNY, the great website. If your son or daughter is a blossoming Little League baseball star, even if they're not a star, if they just love playing the game, submit a photo of she or he to allsportswny@gmail.com, allsportswny@gmail.com. Little League Stars is the name of the page, and we'll have a photo gallery of all the youngsters out there who are having such a great time this summer playing Little League baseball. Well, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to be out at the DePaulo golf outing. We have Dan Kaburka from the Special Olympics, which their opening ceremonies is Friday night, which yours truly will be the MC coming to UB. And then we'll be out at the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame announcing the 2013 inductees. A lot going on in tonight's show. So let's start with the DePaulo golf outing. Out at Wanaka Country Club on Monday. Part of the day, about an hour and a half, it poured rain, but the rest of the day we had a great time. The DePaulos, of course, a great family. Just a couple weeks ago, we showed you the scholarship dinner. Well, that money's got to come from somewhere, and some of it comes from the annual DePaulo golf outing. So let's go out to Wanaka and talk to some of the great friends and family who are out there celebrating this great cause. Okay, Dennis, how many years now does this make this tournament?
This is 34 years now we've been together in the running. My father started us back in the late 70s there, and we've been running every time, all the way through. Some great memories. Carmen Basilio, right to Destroyer, and great cause. We've raised a lot of money for the Western New York community, but the Destroyer's been with us every single one of them.
It's been great. I played here with many sports celebrities, many of the sports announcers like yourself, and with Ilio to start out with, and Dennis and his son now are doing great, but Michael also. And I talked to Barbara this morning, and it was pouring rain in Akron. I says, "Are you going to play?" And she said, "Yeah, it's okay here."
Yeah, somebody's smiling down on us right now.
Well, we hope the Italian gods stay with us throughout the rain here. So the homemade wine is on the way, Bob, and you'll have a cart full.
Yeah. How much money's been raised over the years out here, Dennis? Do you remember?
Well, with People Inc. alone, we've raised over $100,000 just for People Incorporated, which is Al Boswell, the Buffalo Home, and it's a great organization. It really helps the disadvantaged of our community. And needless to say, through the scholarship fund that we've done such a great job with through the years, our committee has done a wonderful job awarding scholarships to the tremendous leaders of tomorrow.
Hey, Dick, are you a better golfer or wrestler?
I am a much better wrestler.
I'd say that for Dennis, too.
Pretty close, compa.
Okay, now we have a couple Buffalo Bill greats, Booker Edgerson, Eddie Rakowski. Eddie's eating some of the pulled pork, getting ready to put some muscle on before you hit those long drives, right, Ed?
Absolutely, yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. I was checking out. I didn't see any guamki or anything of Polish, but
no kielbasa either.
No,
you know,
no.
hey,
You'll have to go pick some up.
we're all Italian today.
That's right. Booker, how many of these outings have you had a chance to play with the DePaulo family?
I think this is about the 10th year that I've officially counting, about the 10th year, and it's always been gratifying to because I knew Elio myself personally, and then with Dennis, we just had a great time, and plus I'm on a couple boards with Dennis, so there's also a connection there. Yeah. Yes.
And this is like one big family every year when you come out here.
Absolutely. You know, when we first came to Buffalo, the first place you come after you're a rookie or during your rookie year is Ilio DePaulo's, and you become part of the DePaulo family. And it really is. It is all about family, and Dennis is taking over now, and we have a lot of fun, but remember Ilio deeply in our heart. He'll be missed.
I'm asking this question, better football player or golfer?
Who?
You.
Thank God I don't have to play golf for a living. I'd be in the poorhouse.
Booker?
Oh, I'm definitely a better football player than a golfer, you know. But I'd just like to say is that, you know, with this tournament that Dennis does is that, you know, it's money goes to the scholarship fund and everything. And there's so many young athletes and scholar athletes in the area that benefit from this whole program. So I encourage any and everybody, if they afford to come out here, come on out here and be a participant.
Ladies and gentlemen, the famous Paul McGuire.
Oh, excuse me.
About 3 seconds. Aren't you? Didn't you used to be Eddie Rakowski? Oh, you're Jack Kemp now?
Yeah.
Or you used to be Jack Kemp, and now you're Eddie Rakowski.
That's the most contact you've had in a long time.
Oh boy, I tell you, even at home. No, everything's good. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Now, how many years have you been out here?
Oh boy. You know, I met him when we first came here in '64, and he was a friend of the Buffalo Bills and everybody in town in this area from that time on. And as long as they've had it, we've been here. And if you look around, it really is kind of weird because all the guys that I play ball with still live here, are all here. None of those guys ever forgot Ilio DiPaolo. I mean, how the hell can you? And his son Dennis has done such a wonderful job. But this guy was so good to the Buffalo Bills and the players. You just can't imagine.
And I remember some classic after-tournament dinners, you and Carmen Basilio, and it was like being in Vegas.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny when you do something like that at Ilio DiPaolo's restaurant, or like here. I took 3 days. I took another, you know, an update class on Italian. Now, I'm doing all right with my hands. My hands are doing real good. It's the verbiage and things. I'm just not getting it all yet. But I know some of the swear words.
See, you have to be like Dennis. You just speak English, but with an Italian accent. He thinks that'll get him past in Italy.
I know. Do you know he's done his father so long and all of these guys so many times that's actually the way he talks now. He actually thinks he's an immigrant.
Yeah. He was born in Lackawanna.
I know, but you would never know it. I mean, every time someone, you know, like pull him over the cops, and then they want to know where his passport is.
Paul McGuire having some fun at the expense of our good buddy Dennis DiPaolo. Great day, a lot of money raised, and we were glad to be out there with our WBBZ TV cameras, and Tim Badd, who did a great job putting that together for us. Hey, when we come back, we're going to be speaking to Dan Kaburka. He's the Director of Programming for the Special Olympics. Big opening ceremonies out at UB this coming weekend. We'll be back to talk more about that right after this on All Sports WNY. Welcome back, All Sports WNY. Bob Kaczynski in studio with you, and our guest right now, the Director of Programming for the Western Region of Special Olympics, Dan Kaburka. Dan, thanks for coming down to the show. Big weekend for you. Yes. It's the Summer Special Olympic Games hosted here in Buffalo. The opening ceremonies will be Friday night in Alumni Arena, 8 o'clock. I'm excited. I'll be the MC for that. So tell us a little bit about it. How many athletes are coming in, and what should we expect?
Between coaches and athletes, we have about 1,800 coming in. Many of them will be staying overnight at UB Friday and Saturday. Competitions are in aquatics, track and field, basketball, bowling, powerlifting, volleyball, tennis, gymnastics. So you're going to see a lot of great competition. Our athletes have been training all season since pretty much the beginning of March for this. So it's going to be a great weekend for us.
I was telling you before we started, I've done a couple opening ceremonies going way back to the late 80s when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Was actually the guest speaker.
Sure.
That also was at UB. UB's a great facility for this, isn't it?
Absolutely. They have so much space, so many great places for us to compete. Will be, you know, we do our track and field there, our swimming, our basketball. Most of it is right on the campus at UB, and then also the use of their dorms, their cafeterias. Everything is great for us. So they've been a terrific host, and we're happy to be there again.
Are the summer games held every summer?
They are, yes.
And so it rotates around the state?
Correct.
And when was the last time it was at UB?
We were in Buffalo last year.
Oh, last
actually.
year?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
great.
So it's our second year there. Mm-hmm.
Now, it's such a feel-good event, but the competitors, I mean, they want to win.
Absolutely. That's something people don't always know about Special Olympics.
Right.
Is it's real sports, it's real training. Our folks are out there to win. You know, they've been going since, like I said, early March, competing, training. So this is really their time to shine.
Okay, so if a viewer would like to go out and watch some of this, Friday night, 8 o'clock is the opening ceremonies inside Alumni Arena. Is there an admission fee?
There's not. We encourage everyone to come out. It's free. There's going to be some great entertainment along with the opportunity to cheer on our athletes and get them ready for the the weekend.
And when do the events start on Saturday?
Saturday morning, probably between 7:30 and 8. Activity will start. You know, they're going to go all day. It's a long day of competition for them, but they're ready for it.
How does a Special Olympic athlete train? How do they get selected, or what's the process for them getting involved in a state game like this?
To be eligible for state games, they have to compete at our local, regional, and super regional events. Those have been going on over the past few months. As long as they compete there, where they finish doesn't necessarily matter, but as long as they've made that progression, then they're eligible for state games.
Wow. So what's the reasoning behind doing the kind of progressive eligibility, so to speak?
It gives them a chance to build up their skills. They're practicing this whole time over the past few months, and we want people to know it's legitimate sports. So they've had a chance to compete before. It's not like we say come out in June and try this sport. They've really been practicing at it, and this is their time to shine.
Where do you recruit your coaches for this?
Coaches are all volunteers, so it's people. Sometimes they have a family member who has an intellectual disability. Sometimes it's a teacher or just someone in the community who has coaching experience, and out of the goodness of their heart, they become coaches for us.
And as I said, I've been involved several times with the opening ceremonies. I've been at the games. It's really something that at the end of it, I mean, everybody just feels great about the event.
Right.
Not that those who've lost maybe don't feel like they could have done better, but as a whole, I know the families are really into it.
Right. They've made a commitment to it over the past few months, and then this is really the culmination for it. And they get to see people they've made friends with from throughout the state at state games. They see them a couple times a year. It's a great time for everyone to get together and for one last time compete in that sport.
I mentioned earlier that Robert Kennedy Jr. was a speaker here in Buffalo back in the 80s. The Kennedy family has been very much associated and involved with Special Olympics.
Absolutely. It was founded by Eunice Kennedy Shriver many years ago in the 60s, and Tim Shriver is very involved still to this day. So they're the driving force behind getting Special Olympics started.
Well, Dan, thanks so much for coming down. I look forward to seeing you Friday night. I'm excited about being there, and ask all our viewers to come down and watch these great athletes in action.
Absolutely. Come out. You'll be amazed at what they can do. They're great competitors. They're great athletes, and you'll get a chance to even meet them. It's really a wonderful day.
Great. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Special Olympics this weekend out at UB. Friday night opening ceremonies. Yours truly will be there, but really looking forward to it. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame inductee class of 2013 right after this. Welcome back, All Sports WNY. Last week, New Era Cap on Delaware and Buffalo was the host and sponsor of the news conference to announce the 2013 Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame inductees class. And we were out there. Our WBBZ TV cameras were there. So right now, let's throw it to Therese Fortin-Barnes, president of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, for the announcements.
And now, the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame class of 2013. When I announce your name, could you please come forward? This year's class, a pioneer for female athletes, and the ECC Cats' first true female superstar, Pam Amadil. A two-time New York State Coach of the Year, legendary football coach for Albion and Alden High School, Dick Domenico. One of the most influential people in the long history of Buffalo State athletics, Fred Harter. A legendary Western New York bowler whose success at the lane spans 5 decades, Art Dzorsky. A Buffalo native who played 6 seasons in the NFL and won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants, Phil McConkey. A writer who has covered just about every sporting event in Western New York in his 46 years with the Buffalo News, Milt Northrup. And now we will ask Phil McConkey to come forward to speak on behalf of the class of 2013.
I think I got a big enough mouth where you can hear me. I don't need a microphone, but I want to thank Therese and the rest of the board of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for this incredible honor for all of us honorees. And more importantly, this is about more than just press conferences and awards and trophies and inductions and ceremonies and banquets. It's about giving back to the community, and I know that's what this board does with this foundation, as evidenced by a $100,000 check to grateful and wonderful people and causes here in Western New York. So thank you very much for that. On behalf of the other inductees and honorees, again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. When I woke up this morning, now, again, I am diehard Buffalo, okay? Grew up in the West Side, but now I've gotten very soft in my old age. I live in the San Diego area, so I got up today and I'm coming over to the event and I see the rain just pouring down. I'm thinking, you know what, maybe a few people will show up, maybe to honor Milt, some of his colleagues in the press will show up, but I forgot about Buffalo and Western New York and Buffalonians. A hearty group of people, a wonderful group of people that a few raindrops, believe me, aren't going to stop for coming out today. And when I got the call from Therese about my induction, just like my fellow inductees, you reflect a little bit about who you are and where you come from. And like I said, I left here at 18 years old, 38 years ago, which is really, really hard to believe. And I've done some incredible things. I've been very lucky, very fortunate, and I've realized many dreams. But even now, at this age, in the back of my head, whether it's in business that I do now or I compete in masters track meets and sprints, in the back of my head, every day I wake up, I am still a skinny kid from the west side of Buffalo. That's how I see myself. I've got a Super Bowl ring, I've done this, done that, but every day, I'm a skinny kid from the west side of Buffalo with something to prove. And that's how I've led my life for 56 years, and that's how I envision continuing to lead my life. Like the other inductees, there's something about where we came from, and I know most of us have roots in Western New York. Milt, maybe you weren't born here, but you are Buffalo. So you get it. I'm dumb but not stupid. So I think what Buffalo and Western New York gives all of us is a tremendous resiliency, tremendous will to succeed and to overcome obstacles and overcome odds. And all of us that are being inducted this year have done that. We have all overcome some great odds. And, and it is about environment, but it is about, where you come from. And I recently lost my mom to cancer just a few weeks ago. I've been, like I said, out of Buffalo for 38 years, but I've been back more times in the last 6 months than I have in the 38 years I've been gone, probably combined, because of my mom's illness. And my mom is a 5-foot, 100-pound little Sicilian woman who got cancer of the kidney 4 years ago and had a kidney removed. A couple rogue cells got out, and a lot of people I know out in the audience understand the trials and tribulations of diseases, especially cancer. And, she fought it and held up really well until about 6 months ago, and then the cancer started to metastasize. She would never acknowledge it. She wouldn't, lay bare her problems on her kids that lived far away. She fought this thing as valiantly as anybody I've ever seen. Didn't want to acknowledge it. A couple weeks ago, she's in her bed at the hospital. My sister and I are shoveling pieces of ice into her mouth, and she's fading. And she says to us, I gotta eat. I gotta get stronger. Never would acknowledge it. Wouldn't, just kept fighting to the end. So the palliative doctor said to my sister and I, listen, we can't fight the cancer anymore. We've got to shift our battle to fighting this pain that your mother's going through. So that's when they put her in a euphoric state. And her wish was not to be kept alive artificially. So no bread, no food, no water. So we thought, in the very weakened state she was in at the time, maybe a couple days. My mother lasted 10 days. She just wouldn't quit. So I guess environment, hereditary, It's part of who we all are, and I will be Buffalo for the rest of my life. So I want to thank everybody, especially Therese and the rest of the board, the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. This is a tremendous honor for me and my fellow inductees, and we greatly appreciate the board, the city, Western New York, and all of you for coming out today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great class. You see Milton Northrup there and some other recognizable faces out there from out at the New Era Cap. And a great speech by Phil McConkey. You know, Phil McConkey, I had the privilege of covering Phil in 1988, Super Bowl 21, as the Giants knocked off the Denver Broncos. McConkey had a touchdown catch in that game. You know, and Phil served 5 years in the Navy before he had an opportunity to try to play in the NFL and got his break with the Giants, and very much a Steve Tasker-like player, undersized but just as tough as nails, and congratulations to that entire group. We'll be back to wrap up All Sports WNY right after this. Welcome back. Hey, big hit now on WBBZ TV, Back to the Future, Rocky and Bullwinkle, the Bullwinkle show every night, 10 o'clock right here on WBBZ TV. It's doing great and really brings back a lot of memories and some very funny humor, not just for the kids, but for the adults. It's Bullwinkle, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock right here on WBBZ TV. We've had a great show. We want to thank Dan Kuberko from the Special Olympics, and of course out there at the DePaulo Golf Outing and Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Also, tonight is the last show for our director, Nate Benson, who's leaving WBBZ TV. Nate's done a great job and really has come, you know, a long way from when he first started out wanting to take my photo all the time. And I'd say, Nate, you know, there's more to the business than just taking photos of me. But make sure you get one more before you leave this week. So, Nate, congratulations on your new job. Continued success. We'll be back next week. More of All Sports WNY. For everybody out there, have yourselves a great night and a much better tomorrow.